In today's video, let's talk about social pressures that you should avoid in your 20s. All right, so if you're new here, I'm Dan Blewett. I'm an online entrepreneur, author, and former pro baseball player. There are a lot of social pressures that you'll face in your 20s that will have long-standing ramifications into your 30s and 40s that can affect the way you think, your relationships, your career, all that stuff. So let's get to it. All right, so the first social pressure that you really want to avoid in your 20s is letting group membership control your thinking. So this can be referred to as being in a bubble or in an echo chamber. So what this means is you could be a religious person or an atheist. You could be a Democrat or a Republican. You could be in the LGBTQ community, or you could be straight. It doesn't matter what part of your identity is formed by your group membership, but what you don't want to have happen is that you lose your open-mindedness, your intellectual curiosity, and your ability to think critically about social issues that are important simply because you feel so much pressure from your group to conform to their norms and their perspectives and their held views. And you see this all over society today. It's terrible on Twitter, right? You see Republicans get shouted out by Democrats, Democrats get shouted out by Republicans, religious people won't listen to atheists, atheists won't, acknowledge any opinion of a religious person. I'm guilty of this at times. All of us are guilty of this at times. But what you don't want to do is live out your 20s when you're building your personality, you're finding out who you are. You don't want to let your intellectual curiosity get stifled by trying to make sure that you fit everyone else's view of what a good person should be, or what membership in your political party or your whatever it is. That's not a good way to live. So if you're a member of some sort of societal group and you feel this pressure that if I don't believe what everyone else believes, or else they're going to cast me out or think I'm a bad person or whatever it is, then you should really reconsider your membership in that group and how important that is to you. Intellectual curiosity and growing as a person is a really important thing that you don't want to miss out in your 20s. Number two, assuming that you have to be in a long-term relationship to be happy. So look, I lived in the Midwest for a long time, about 2.5 hours south of Chicago. And most of the people there, they were starting to pair off in college. And then as soon as they graduated from college, they were a year or two from getting married. People get married really young in the Midwest, in the South, in lots of different places in the country. So depending on where you are, you might feel a lot of pressure to find someone. Maybe it's from your parents, from your grandparents, from your friends, where you feel like, I'm 24 and I have to find a long-term girlfriend, or else everyone's going to think that I'm a nobody and maybe I can't find a mate. The reality is, if you find someone that you're crazy about, then absolutely dive in, be committed, and see how far that can go. Like, being in a relationship is great. But if you don't find someone who you feel like you could spend your life with, don't let other people say, you should do this, you need to settle down, don't play the field anymore. Just like, you're with her, so commit. You should commit if you really feel like you're passionate about this person, you could see yourself with them long term. But if you don't quite feel that way, and I feel like that is a really high bar to find the one person that you want to spend your life with, then maybe you should consider being single a little longer and dating and seeing what you really like in a partner by dating around. That's okay. So if you feel pressure from other people forcing you into a certain track, whether it's to get married early or just to find a long-term girlfriend, whatever, resist that. Do what feels right to you. If you find someone great, dive in. And if you don't, keep dating, see what's out there, and see how you grow as a person. Number three, drinking more than you want to because it's kind of what everyone does when they go out. I mean, look, there's more and more research showing just how damaging alcohol is. Even in little bits, it kills your REM sleep. There's a level of toxicity as alcohol breaks down your brain. It's proving to be a really unhealthy substance. But I know a lot of us feel pressure that if our friends are going out or our friends are having 5 drinks, that we need to go out and we need to have 5 drinks too. The reality is, you can push back. You can get a Diet Coke at the bar. You can get an iced tea at the bar. You can get a mocktail or a non-alcoholic cocktail. There's more and more bars and restaurants that are offering non-alcoholic alternatives if that's what you want. If you don't want to go out and get plastered, or you don't want to be drinking 3, 4, 5 nights in the week, then don't. Other people, they might put a little sneer at you, put a little bit of pressure on you, but at the end of the day, if you're a good friend to them, then they're not going to care what you do with your body and your life. Yes, it matters when you're young, you're in your 20s, and you're trying to, rise up the ladder in your career. Being drunk all the time and having tons and tons of late nights is not super great. It's not great for your career. It's not good for your routine, not good for your body. So if you decide that, hey, yeah, I don't really want to be drinking as much as I am, but I feel like I am because it's my friends, push back, do your own thing. It's okay. And more people, especially young people, which is great, are making that choice. Don't let other people pressure you into drinking more than you feel like you want to. Number 4, assuming that travel is what's going to make you happy. Now, look, traveling, especially abroad to other countries, is an amazing thing. It really opens up your perspective on life. It gives you a really good idea of just how big the world is and how all of us are the same, even though we grow up with different skin colors in different countries, we speak different languages, we all come in all shapes and sizes. Now, that being said, I feel like there's a big keeping up with the Joneses thing, and I feel like a lot of people are traveling because they're not sure what else to do with themselves and they're not sure what their thing is back home. But traveling is not going to fill a void in your personal life or your work life or your family life if you're not satisfied with your career or you're not satisfied with the relationships that you have. All I would urge you to do is travel as much as you want to travel, but don't assume that it's going to solve your problems, and really work at home thinking, what can I do to be more fulfilled in my personal life? What can I do to be more fulfilled in my work life? Do I need another job? Do I need a side hustle? Do I need to volunteer my time and give back to charities or something like that? I feel really lucky that I don't feel this need to have tons of vacations and to travel a ton, because I really love what I do. Like, I'm really blessed that I get to do this on YouTube, but at the same time, I do love to travel. So I do it as much as I can, but not because I feel like I have to escape my regular life. So don't let travel become this escape where you're neglecting your real life and maybe not patching up some of the holes that might make you more fulfilled at home. And my number 5 societal pressure that you should avoid, especially if you're in your 20s, that will come back to bite you, is spending money on stuff that you don't need. And this really does fall into the category of stuff. So you don't need that flashy car. Reconsider getting the BMW when you could get a Toyota that's going to look pretty nice and get you where you want to go. Don't feel like you need the newest, latest TV. You don't always have to have the new iPhone. You don't always have to have a new laptop. All these things, these purchases that are not going to appreciate over time, they're not assets long-term, you will regret buying those things that essentially just make your bank account dwindle away. At every age, at every point in the future, you're going to look back and say, I wish I had saved more money and not spent on this frivolous thing or this new electronic or this, $85 t-shirt or whatever designer thing that you might want. Things aren't really good investments. You should invest in assets. You should invest in experiences. You should invest in being generous with other people. But beyond that, and you should invest in food and really good healthy food and your own health and fitness. Those are really good investments that will pay you back long term. But investing in with keeping up with the Joneses, the flashy new car, the excessively flashy clothes. I mean, look, you should have your life together. Have the apartment that you need, the house that you need, furnish it well, but don't go overboard. Remember that at every point in the future, you might need extra cash. You don't know what's going to happen, and you want to invest in assets. So if you can save money to buy a rental property or to buy your house instead of renting forever, or to invest wisely in the stock market, whatever it is, the more you're saving cash now and being frugal and not spending on keeping up with the Joneses, that flashy new thing, it's going to really come back, and you're going to be in a great position financially in your 30s and 40s and 50s. Because remember, especially when you do invest, compounding interest is tremendously valuable. Compounding interest can really make you wealthy later on in life. So really start thinking about, what do you really need now and what is just a luxury and what can you cut out, and start spending your money smarter. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment. Which of these 5 resonates most with you? I think for me, being an independent thinker is one of the things that I'm most proud of. And I really don't like to be part of some groupthink where people are controlling what I believe. I want to formulate my own opinions myself. But leave me a comment and let me know what you think resonated with you most. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you here in the next video.